PEO is a professional employer organization. And basically what that means is it's a business construct that allows organizations to band together, to pool their resources, typically with matters related to employees, with employee benefits, workers' compensation insurance, and really most importantly, human resources administration. I think it's important for a senior living operator to partner with a PEO because there's so much running against operators today. You have the workforce crisis, making it harder and harder to staff your buildings. One way or another at the local, state, and federal level, labor laws are changing at a breakneck pace. And the last thing that an operator needs from a labor law or a tax perspective is a surprise. That's one other side of it. And then the other side is the fact that margins aren't huge in senior living. And any way that you can have a more predictable business model that has a little bit wider of a margin because you're more efficient than the operator down the street, it absolutely makes a ton of sense. Procare HR and other PEOs empower workforce by, I think, a couple of different things. Providing a world-class employment experience through benefits and technology, enabling the administrative staff at the employer to focus on proactive projects more, which will drive things like recruitment, employee engagement, employee retention, performance reviews, all of those things, which make that a better place to work. And also, studies show through NAPEO, which is the governing body of PEOs nationwide, that companies and organizations that use a PEO outpace their competition in terms of revenue and profit by double-digit percentage points. And in an industry like senior housing, senior living, and senior care, where margins can be thin, that might be the difference between additional investment in the workforce and cuts. And so that's why it's a better experience for the employees, and why if I'm an employee and I have two different job offers and they're identical, I probably will end up selecting the employer that works with the PEO. By partnering with Procare HR, an operator essentially is saying, hey, Procare, I'd like you to go to market and to make the best recommendations from an HR administration, a workers' compensation, and an employee benefits perspective. And what we're doing is we're leveraging the tens of thousands of employees represented at our clients to go to market and put your organization at the best possible light. To be clear, PEOs, especially like Procare HR, aren't necessarily just a way to get cheap insurance. What that really does is, again, feeds in to the employment experience by providing offsets for an investment in your people and an investment in your HR infrastructure. From a liability perspective, it's never been higher for a senior living operator or any other business owner. And it comes from a few different places. Number one, your employees can get hurt. And in senior living, there's more activity than in something like a law firm. And so inherently there's more opportunity for risk. There's also just the same amount of risk from an employment law and tax perspective. Now you're adding on compliance because you're dealing in the healthcare arena. And really what another thing a PEO like Procare HR does is shares that liability, because we're actually co-employing the employees under our tax identification number. And so that allows us to both tackle these issues. And that's on the reactive side. So imagine if you were also had the HR resources that were experts, that were constantly up to date to tackle those things before they become problems as well, allowing your staff to then go work on the, I'd really like to do projects. And so that liability is now less, because you have a team that's handling dozens of operators and 50 states that can see these things before they're coming. And also, hey, when something falls through the cracks, I don't have inherently the same risk profile that I did before I joined someone like Procare HR. As an operator evaluates their portfolio and even each individual community within the portfolio, you have to assume that each community is almost like its own employment group, if you look at it that way. Not every operator is fortunate enough to have the exact same labor laws and tax laws, because not everybody is always in the exact same state. And sometimes you even run into local and municipal regulations. And so as you're operating your entire portfolio, you can look at it and say, all right, if I have an opportunity to expand and create a new building, or maybe to take on operation of an existing building that's not in my portfolio today to really become part of a new community, I don't necessarily have to think so much as I did before joining Procare HR on what's under the hood there and what are some of the things that might not be up to snuff. Because us and our partnership, when you sign on the dotted line to really join that community toward your portfolio, you're also saying, hey, Procare, get to work. And so that makes it so that you can focus on what's important, which is community building and the people. Procare HR is looking for the movers and shakers and the innovators in senior housing. We're looking for the folks who understand that the way that organizations were run 5-10 years ago doesn't meet reality today. And that sometimes you need to shake things up and try something new in order to get results that you have never achieved before. And so you can consider Procare as the go-to thought leader for all things related to the employee experience, compliance, employee benefits, and ultimately employment risk. One thing to note that's really unique about Procare HR is that 70% of our employees are actually former operators. And so I highly endorse operators taking a look at PEOs, and especially if you haven't seen a proposal before, taking a step in that direction to get educated would be great. One of the things that really differentiates Procare HR is that our folks know your organization better than anybody out there that you could work with in HR, because they've been there, they've been in the trenches, and we partner with organizations every single day to make your lives and the lives of your residents and the community better.